long as we've been doing this, there haven't been too many times that we've actually had documented proof, video proof of possessions happening.
In the name of Jesus Christ, what is your name? Or names?
Why do you stay here at this house?
The darker spirit is more possessive, and like I said, he doesn't like trespassers. He's probably the one that you're going to meet first. Hey!
Dude, something just moved my glasses on my head. What is it?
Dave just got scratched. Are you okay, man?
Oh my god. You heard that, didn't you?
You're good at pushing people around, oppressing people. Push me. Push me down these steps.
There is so much about the paranormal that has yet to be discovered or understood. But in all our years of research, we found that there is one correlation that seems to be constant. Buildings with a lot of history seem to produce a lot of paranormal activity.
Happy. It just said happy. Oh my god.
Then we heard about a small farmhouse in Indiana that was exploding into the supernatural spotlight. And what makes this location unique is that no one knows why. What is even more mysterious about this house is just how dark the activity is reported to be.
What are you?
Revenant Acres has reported 2 cases of spiritual possession. This is one of them.
What are you? So it's just one of you.
A man named Johnny loses all control, warning the owner, Scott Revenant, to leave the house immediately. During this fit of alleged possession, his behavior becomes disturbing. Mucus and drool ooze from his mouth as he utters his warnings to Scott. Shortly after, he collapses to the floor with no recollection of what had happened.
I need to leave this room.
So again, we ask why? What is behind the dark energy that seems to surround this farm? Could it be multiple deaths have been forgotten over time? Is there any history of tragedy surrounding this farm? There is only one legend that gives us clues to piece together. In the late 20th century, when the house was abandoned, it was rumored to be a drug house, where addicts and criminals would hide from the law. It's hard to say what kind of negative energy that could have brought to the surface. We have traveled all the way to Indiana for one reason: to bring out this energy and capture it on camera. To do that, for the next 36 hours, we will camp out at the Revenant Acres Farm. On the first evening we arrived, we conducted a short investigation that was broadcasted live on YouTube. On that first night, the activity already began to surface.
We're going to be here until you do something to prove to us that you were here.
My name is Dave. Today is my birthday. Could you make a knocking sound to let me know that you're here? The REM pod just went off. And I've got cold chills like crazy.
Alright. I just bumped the doors. Alright, hold on one second. This golf ball just came off of the piano here. This is pretty much how I walked over. Then I sat it down. And I was getting back up. And that's when the ball rolled off the piano.
I mean, Steve and I are pretty big boys. And I mean, it hasn't gone off when...
I was even here, I went like this.
But we wanted to invite everyone that is here, listening to us, watching us on this feed, to go like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Our Paranormal Quest.
The conclusion of the live stream investigation ended the first night at Revenant Acres. Tomorrow will be a new day with new surprises. Without any history to guide us, we need to know what other investigators have captured and experienced in this house. My aunt and uncle John and Debbie Holliday of Daywalkers Paranormal met us at Revenant Acres in the afternoon to give us more information on this haunting.
Do you think most of the spirits and the entities that are here, do you think that they're more just curious about the visitors, or some that are actually seriously trying to communicate?
The child spirit is ultra friendly. If you have toys or candy, she will come out and play. The grandmother spirit, she's more quiet, but she's definitely here. It's going to take you a little bit longer to draw her out, but you can get her. The darker spirit is more possessive, and like I said, he doesn't like trespassers. He's probably the one that you're going to meet first.
Do you think maybe some of the activities, we'll say, that took place in this house over the last several years by, squatters and just people, we've heard that, there was some drug activity that the sheriff's department had to come in. Do you think maybe some of that kind of stuff could have aided in some of this energy? And
yeah, because negative always attracts negative. It always does.
This is the only place I've ever investigated where it's constantly saying my name, and that's the only name that said all night. It kept saying Debbie. When I would try to, was trying to get my attention. It was pretty wild.
Now, that's one thing that there's a lot of reports of here at Revenant Acres, is that there is something on that first floor that they say likes females.
Yeah.
Duncan has told us that women will feel like they're groped, inappropriate language will come across the spirit box. Do you think that had any impact on it wanting to communicate with you?
I mean, I have experienced the one on the second floor, and you could tell it's negative, but it didn't scare me.
The darker spirit is what I think approached Debbie and went all the way around her, and I think it tries to basically to get you to leave.
kind of maybe scare you off.
Right.
Okay, intimidate you. So it's territorial a little bit.
Yes, because this is its home. And why are you here?
As the night descends on Revenant Acres, it's almost time for us to start our investigation. But before we begin, we need to sit down and discuss the dangers that could be waiting for us inside.
Man, it's really hard to fathom two documented cases of possession.
Yeah, and I mean, as long as we've been doing this, there haven't been too many times that we've actually had documented proof, video proof of possessions happening. To have the ability to be able to go back and look at that video and know that it can happen to us at any time, anywhere, knowing that it did happen here is just kind of frightening, actually.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly right. I mean, between the evidence that's already been captured here, and really what we've already had happen so far on our solos during the live feed, it doesn't seem like whatever's here is too hesitant to communicate with us or anyone. I mean, I know when Dave was in there, he's already, the first thing that we had so far was the REM pod triggering 2 or 3 different times. And
The REM pod just went off.
When you were in there, I mean, Ryan and Steve and I, we were out here, we could not believe it, that it was going off 2 or 3 times. It was just a great catch.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane to see that REM pod go off. But then when the REM pod went off again, when Steve moved it over to the stairs, and then as he was backing up, to see that golf ball fall off of the piano and land in the middle of the floor.
I just bumped the doors. Alright, hold on one second. This golf ball just came off of the piano here.
I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, it's stereotypical poltergeist activity. And that's one of the other claims that they have from Revenant Acres, is this poltergeist activity that manifests itself in the form of slamming doors, movement, things being thrown or rolled or moved. And it was just cool. The very first night that we got here and did a live stream for our viewers on YouTube, that we actually got to witness for ourselves this poltergeist-like activity. It was just great.
Yeah, man, that golf ball situation, man, that was crazy. I mean, I can't remember the last time something that obvious happened that, was a response of me being in that area. I mean, tried to debunk it, tried to discredit it, then smacking the piano really hard to get that golf ball to actually roll off the piano like that. That's where the golf ball was. I walked over to here, boom, placed it down, backed away. Okay, that's interesting. That's really interesting, because I actually stepped more strongly down on the floor on purpose to see if it was actually me. Look at that. I'm actually hitting this right now, and it took that to make it to move. I mean, it was just, I hope we get more stuff like that happen. I mean, it was nothing short of awesome for me.
As we get ready to start investigating, we discover we will have another surprise coming in our direction. A massive lightning storm is closing in on our location. We'll begin this investigation differently than we have in the past. John and Debbie Holliday have kindly let us borrow 2 pieces of equipment to help take our research to a higher level: a structured light sensor camera and a thermal imaging camera. To start, Ryan and I will sweep the house with the SLS camera, a device that uses structured infrared lasers to detect and map human figures. In theory, if this camera maps a figure where no living human is standing, we could be in the presence of a spirit.
So we are here at Revenant Acres, and luckily John and Debbie are allowing us to utilize their structured light sensor camera, which maps out figures in the frame by using the dots you see on my face, and it structures human figures. So if there is a human figure that appears on that screen that is not me or Jason, it can be considered paranormal, because we are the only 2 humans in here. So we're going to sweep Revenant Acres with the structured light sensor camera.
If there's anyone here with Ryan and I, if you can hear the sound of my voice, can you show yourself to us? You don't have to be afraid of us. We're just here to communicate with you. We'd love to be able to see you or speak with you. Okay. Who's here with us? That's me.
Wait, what's on the screen right now?
Just trying to map out the piano and the...
Gotcha.
Are you upstairs? Please show yourself to us. We're here just to communicate with you, to meet you. If you're upstairs, can you come down the stairs for us?
I'm not sure what that was.
Me either. I just heard that. It's like in here.
Yeah, it was.
Somebody in this room here underneath the stairs?
Afraid that string is there.
Yeah. Okay. I've got a figure here.
A figure in there?
Right here next to the piano. It's right in front of me.
Who are you? Who's standing in front of Jason?
Not there now.
Disappeared that fast. Huh?
Okay, something's trying to appear again. Looks okay. Now there's
Right there.
just two of them on one on either side of the door, and it was kind of they were moving around. There it is. Now it's gone again. Is that you that we're seeing?
Now it's gone. Is that the room where there was a lot of drug activity? Would you hide under there when the raids would happen? It's definitely odd.
Yeah.
Back around here.
Can you give us a sound to let us know where you are? We don't mean to be intruding on you. Want to sweep upstairs?
Sure. Sweep up and come back down.
Yeah. If there's anyone upstairs, Ryan and I are about to come up and talk with you here for just a minute. Who's upstairs? Okay, I just had an anomaly up here. The figure, he left just after a second.
Are you trying to hide?
We continued to sweep the rest of the upstairs with the SLS camera, including the room where the possession video was recorded.
So it's just one of you.
No matter who you are, whether you are the negative entity or whether you are a child, a little girl, an old lady, an elderly woman, I should say,
I invite you to sit down with me and talk to me. Why do you stay here at this house? Is that you?
No, I didn't hear. What did you hear?
I thought I heard it's like a voice.
Okay. No more unexplained figures presented themselves to us on this SLS camera sweep, but the figures we did capture have us puzzled. Next, Dave and Steve will enter the house armed with a thermal imaging camera, a camera that sees temperature rather than light.
Whoever moved that golf ball the other night, can you do that again? I just bumped the doors. Alright, hold on one second. This golf ball just came off the piano here. This is a question for the original owners of the house. How do you feel about people coming into your home and trying to talk to you, make communication with you? How do you feel about that? I'll let you go up first. Or do you need me to?
Just turn this around.
I'll let you go up because I can use my screen to get up.
Okay, just watch that rim pop.
Oh yeah. Let me know when you're up there. All right, I'll put the recorder here on the chair. Right there. Okay, Dave is right over there in the other corner. You can see him out there in the hallway. Who or what likes to possess people in this house? I'm standing right here in the middle of the floor, and I'm addressing whoever or whatever it is that likes to oppress or possess people. I can't see you behind me whatsoever. To be honest, I'd just like to know your name and why you're here, why you take pleasure in oppressing people that come to the house here. Who are you? Where do you come from?
Dave and Steve's thermal camera sweep of the house didn't seem to stir up any activity, so it's time to see if Revenant Acres will speak to us when no one is in the house. Every investigation, we conduct what we call our abandonment tactic, where we set up infrared night vision cameras throughout the location, along with digital recorders and other pieces of equipment to see what will happen. We set up 4 cameras to cover almost every part of this 6-room structure. The first camera will be on the first floor, in the living room facing the piano, where Steve witnessed a golf ball being rolled from its position and onto the floor.
I just bumped the doors. This golf ball just came off the piano here.
The REM pod will be stationed on the stairs, in hopes we will capture the energy of an entity moving throughout the house. The second camera will be stationed in the adjacent room, pointing directly at the entrances to the kitchen and the sewing room. If any activity enters or exits this room, our camera will capture it. The third camera will be covering the top of the stairs on the second floor, and will have a full view of this room to capture any visual evidence moving from one floor to the next. Our final angle will be set up in the upstairs bedroom, the room where Johnny's possession took place.
What are you?
We're hoping that this dark entity will show itself to this camera. As we review all these angles covering almost every part of this house, we are disappointed to find out that no unexplained activity took place while we were outside the house. This makes us wonder, what types of energy fuels the activity at Revenant Acres? And what do we have to do or say to get this negative spirit to make an appearance? As the night grows darker and the storm moves closer, it's time for us to enter this house again.
All right, so we're getting ready to begin the investigation tonight of Revenant Acres, and because it's such a small house, we can't have all four of us in this tiny 6-room farmhouse investigating at once. So we're gonna split up 2 and 2. So Dave and I are gonna go in first. Steve and Jason are gonna wait out here for us to be done, and then they are actually gonna go in and investigate, the 2 of them. And then after that, we're gonna go into solos.
Also, there's a pretty decent cluster of storms on the way, so it's been lightning for what, like 2 hours?
Yeah, I just had one get real close over here.
Yeah. So hopefully that helps us out.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'll be charged.
Sit down right here. We're gonna do live EVP. Dave's gonna do it. All right. All right, this is Ryan and Dave. Live EVP from Revenant. Is there anybody here with us? What's your name? Was that you?
What?
That movement?
Not that I'm aware of.
You didn't hear that movement right here? That sounded like movement on the floor in between us. That was really creepy. My camera had to have picked that up. Today is my birthday. Could you wish me a happy birthday? Alright, you want to listen back to this? Yeah. Live EVP from Revenant. Is there anybody here with us? What's your name? Today is my birthday. Could you wish me a happy birthday? Today is my birthday. Could you wish me a happy birthday? What? I want you to see if you... Come here. Today is my... Ah, shoot. Today is my birthday. Could you wish me a happy birthday? Okay, I swear I can hear something answering. I could hear it from back here, unless I'm just making... Like, not making it up, but I'm hearing what I want to hear. Second session, Ryan, Dave. What do you think about this storm coming in? Also, last night, I heard you make the device upstairs go off. Could you do that again? The REM pod just went off. And I've got cold chills like crazy. I also heard you could play the piano. Could you do that? How many of us are in this house right now? Do you know that you're dead?
Also, last night, I heard you make the device upstairs go off. Can you do that again? Do you know that you're dead?
Alright, live EVP, Revenant Acres, Ryan and Dave, only ones present. Are you getting blinded by that cam?
Yeah, go over here in this room.
It's a good idea. Ooh, there was that lightning. Yeah. Here we go. Ooh, it's getting charged.
Right here in this doorway is where Jason saw the two figures with the SLS camera. Who are you? Who's standing in front of Jason?
Right, there's two of them on one on either side.
If that was you standing beside this doorway, can you come and talk to me? Got a pretty nasty storm getting ready to brew up outside, and should give you plenty of energy to bring this house to life. Are you hiding under the stairs? That's plugged in.
With Ryan and Dave only capturing one very faint, low-class EVP, it's time to switch teams. As they exit the house, Steve and I will try our best to bring some of this famous activity to the surface.
Dave and Ryan exiting house.
I guess you can hold on to it. Probably go to the 10.
10?
Yeah, at least I am.
Okay.
Probably a smart idea.
All right, everyone. As you know, I'm Steve. This is Jason right over here. And wanted to take some time to try to, again, get to know you. If you have answered prior, hopefully recorders in the past have picked it up. We don't know that yet. We haven't gone through all of our recordings yet. Keep in mind, we had Ryan and Dave in here, and also Dave doing a solo mission, and that golf ball still is on top of that piano.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Sorry, I keep making a point about that because it still fascinates me how many people have walked past it since we put it up there and it still hasn't come down yet. Let's do something a little bit different. Take the golf ball and set it right here on the steps. Right there. Let's see if it does anything. Okay, it's pretty sturdy. So just by us walking down here, it's not going to make it move. Back against the wall here. Is there any way you can make that golf ball move down the steps? They say there's a little, a young girl here. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Hello? That was upstairs, right?
It sounded like that.
Okay.
Either there or back in here.
Yeah, we can go upstairs if you want.
Okay.
Try it out up there. Can you see?
Yeah.
Do it that way. Mind you, we'll probably end up making them.
That was
Oh.
me.
There's the REM pod. I'll sit here. There's a device in my buddy's hand over there, Jason's hand. It's got a little green light. Right now, can you go close to it? Reach out and touch it? What's your name? Or names? How many are you? I mean, how many of there are you?
I'm covered in goosebumps, man.
Oh yeah?
Wow.
What's going on?
It kind of creeped me out a little bit when you said, how many are you?
I know, I completely worded that wrong.
Yeah, because remember what he said that Johnny said?
Yeah.
He said that he called himself 7.
Yeah. It just gave me the chills too. But it does raise a question. If that were, a factual occurrence. I'm not saying that it wasn't. But from our standpoint, we say alleged because we were not here when it happened. If that event happened, if that possession happened, what name do you go by? In the name of Jesus Christ, what is your name? Or names? Did you hear that?
It sounded like scratching.
Where was it at?
Out there.
We haven't heard that the entire time. The storm's been going on.
Can you hear Steve and I in here? Can you hear our voices? Why did you do what you did to Johnny? If that happened, we want to talk to whoever or whatever affected Johnny in this room.
I've got chills all over my body right now. Come on, the energy's all around us from this storm. All we want to know is what is your name, what is your intent for the people that visit this house?
We need to speak to you. We're speaking to whoever affected Johnny. You need to speak up.
What is that? Haven't heard that this whole time.
No. We have to debunk this look at this while we're still here, so let's turn this light on. Really? Is the flipping power off?
Could have went out.
Do you not want us up here?
It seems like this negative entity is either toying with us or isn't as interested in us as we had hoped. If we are going to get results and capture real evidence, we need to change our approach. Steve and I head out to the tent to reconvene with Ryan and Dave about how we can begin our solo missions. While we are outside in the tent, we leave the camera on the first floor set up and recording. and it captures a moment of real terror. While we're discussing what will happen next, lightning strikes just feet away from the tent. I sprint to the house, but as I try my hardest to get this door open, it won't budge, even though it's unlocked. It felt as if someone was holding it shut from the inside. Once inside, we're relieved that none of us are hurt, but our adrenaline has skyrocketed.
That freaked me out, man.
I couldn't tell by the way you moved.
I'm like,
Through
he disappeared.
It freaked me out.
He's sitting here, man.
I came up to the door, I'm like, what, is something holding the door closed?
Okay, we're back on.
We're not sure if the door being stuck has anything to do with the supernatural, but in the 2 days and nights we've spent at Revenant Acres, we've never had any trouble opening this door until this moment. We need to take some time to recover from the terror. It's overwhelmingly eerie to feel trapped inside this house, trapped by the storm, inside a house where multiple possessions have taken place. The paranormal activity appeared to peak at the height of this storm, and throughout the rest of this night, we have become overwhelmingly frustrated by how quiet this house has become. And as exhaustion from the crazy events of the past 2 days set in, we have to end our research here at Revenant Acres.
Flashing at 0, so we're less than a minute left, and I just wanted to say that if you did speak with us, I want to thank you for all the time you spent talking, and that if you did reach out, that we greatly appreciate it. And if we didn't get your message yet, we certainly will later on. So to all those spirits that are still here and that did speak to us, thank you.